Presidential aide and spray-on-hair enthusiast Stephen Miller published a quota 4 days ago calling for a daily arrest number of 3,000 undocumented immigrants per day. This is ridiculous, and it's a bad strategy for multiple reasons, and let me break it down for you. The main issue with numerical quotas is that they don't always fix the root cause of the problem, especially if you're only incentivizing one metric. This happens with things like public schools, for instance, where people are trying to improve educational standards, so they tell public schools that they are going to reduce their funding if they don't raise their graduation rates. And the idea is that this will improve education, but usually what you see these schools do instead is simply just make it easier to graduate. It's the same thing here. If you have a numerical quota without taking into account everyone's individual story or their circumstances, then you're just going to get people arrested who don't deserve to be arrested, which include U.S. citizens, people with ID, people with legal protected status. And this has already happened in the United States. We already have people who have been sent to El Salvador despite the fact that they are allowed to be here in the US. The rationale behind these arrests and deportations is that it will make things safer and it will improve the economy. However, there isn't very much evidence for this. Immigrants, including undocumented immigrants, are less likely to commit crimes than citizens are. There's also the fact that historically speaking there have been attempts to do this. Mass deportations under Mexican repatriation in the 1930s, as well as operation that didn't really improve the economy, and in fact it often made things worse. You're also creating a lot of distrust in the community. Who wants to talk to cops if they're concerned about being arrested and deported and sent to another country? Who wants to visit the US as a tourist if they're concerned about being detained or deported for a very long time? That has already happened. We've had foreign nationals come to visit here as tourists, and they are being detained by ICE or by Border Patrol despite the fact that they haven't done anything wrong. My main concern, however, is simply what happens next. Because they ran out of criminals to deport, so they started deporting asylum seekers who were at their scheduled hearing in immigration court. Then they started arresting workers at construction sites and restaurants. Then they started removing protected status for people, hundreds of thousands of people, who came to the United States to flee regimes like in Venezuela. What happens next? What if there's mounting political pressure and the president simply does not want to follow the rules and starts detaining and deporting more American citizens? What's next? Political dissidents? Members of Congress? Don't think that that can't happen in America. That has happened elsewhere in the world before. It could very well happen here too.